That was your fastest lap of the session.
All right, let's take a look at that. So this is going to be first lap, hot lap. You're going to, so first off, because this is week 1, I don't have all of the sessions that I'm able to copy. So the times are going to be off. So don't look at the times. If this track temperature is different than what you're running, pay no attention to the time. But the idea is going to remain the same for pretty much most temperatures. If this ends up being like 110 degree, then it's going to be slightly different. But with the weather conditions I plugged in, trying to match the schedule, it came out with a pretty cool track. So I think we're going to trust it. So anyways, out lap, going to be first lap. You want to full throttle the entire 3 and 4. It's going to be a little tricky. You want to get the car a little bit loose early. So you see I'm kind of twitching the wheel there early. I'm just trying to engage the car loose so that I don't slide up into the wall. And then once I get a little loose, I'm just sawing the wheel just to try to keep it on that same pitch, the angle of the car loose, because it can either spin out or grab tight at any moment. So once we get the car a little bit loose, just full throttle, let the car slide up a little bit, but at some point you just got to stick it along the wall, try to stay off of it. It is possible to full throttle this, so you just got to keep trying. I do like putting my lefts about 1/2 a lane before the seat, below the seam. If you enter too close to the wall, it's just really hard to hang it out. You kind of use that seam transition to kick the car loose. But anyways, going into turn 1 here. Going to be running the top. So I only need to back off to half, and I'm only backing off to half until I feel that the car is not sliding up towards the ball anymore. And even you can beat that even a little bit if you want to, but only by a little bit. The real goal is to, when you re-engage 100%, you want the car to just be completely stable, completely under your control, and you want to do that as early as possible. Because if you wait too long, obviously you give up a lot of time and a lot of momentum. So you want to just look at the car, you see it enter the corner, and you're like, okay, I see the car enter the corner there, sliding up, sliding up, sliding up, okay, now. Right, and there's just a certain point, like, it's sliding up, sliding up, sliding up, sliding up, sliding up, okay, now I can go. And so then when I go full throttle there, now suddenly the car is completely under my control. Sometimes when you're forcing up early throttle like that, you're going to get tight when you try to turn the wheel, and that's when you know that it's just a little bit too much to ask. The only way you can make that work is if the car's angle is going to get you through the corner for the rest of the corner. So if that's not going to happen, the only other thing you can do is just wait on this half throttle, dip your tires a little bit below the seam, maybe right on it, just wait on it until the car stops sliding up, and then you can go full throttle. Alright, 3 and 4 I like running towards the bottom. I go for a late apex line here, and I kind of missed it a little bit on this lap, but salvaged it. I'll tell you why this is a miss. So I got all the way to the bottom, and theoretically I should be full throttle by now, but because I apexed like right at the middle of the corner, you can apex a little bit later. And the whole reason that I missed was because when I got this turn down here, I just started turning down a little bit too quickly towards the white line. I wanted to have my nose pointed at the white line by the time I start turning down. So the earlier you can get the car pointed down, the better. But the problem is you don't want to actually get there early. So you want to delay how early that you start turning down, but you still want to have your nose pointed at the apron by the time the banking transitions into that full-blown corner. So I missed that just a little bit, start getting down the hill a little too early, and now when I throttle through the corner, I have like a pretty not amazing angle. So if my car was angled more towards the exit of the corner at this point, I can go full throttle, but because I didn't, I have to ride that 3/4 throttle, force a full throttle, get loose, and save the loose condition just to even come close. But the whole goal is we want to throttle through the apex. So half throttle here as I'm coming down, but right before I get to the bottom, I actually want to raise my throttle, smooth throttle through the bottom, because that's where all the momentum comes from. Think of it as almost like a late apex in a road course turn, because you really want to throttle through the corner. You don't want to wait for the apex and then throttle. California 3 and 4, you really want to throttle through the corner. And then in a perfect world, you can get to 100 pretty darn soon after it. But if you have an angle that just gets there a little too early, it's going to be hard. All right, let's take a look at long run. Well, I apologize, my audio wasn't recording for this long run, so I'll just show you a couple laps here. So I was telling you guys, just running the bottom is so much better than running the top after like lap 1. So you're on a restart, run the top, get your track position. The track position that you get in one lap is always going to be worth the tires that you burn over it. So I'm not going to tell you to start saving from drop of the green flag. That's kind of stupid. But once things get strung out, once you can run your own line, these bottom lines are just so much better than running the top. I was doing a bit of an experiment where I was running the bottom for one lap, then top for another lap. And I was trying. I wasn't like trying to do it for camera or whatever. But when I was running the bottom, I was only about half a tenth to 1/10 slower than when I was just fully ripping the top. So we'll see here. This is my favorite way to run the bottom. Just brake all the way into the corner. Then once you get to the bottom, you just hold that partial throttle until the car starts sliding up, and then you can just kind of let go of the wheel, drive it straight off the corner. Very smooth. Car really likes it. It doesn't really fight anything. 3 and 4, just I hate the top in 3 and 4. This late apex throttle through the corner. Let the wideness of the exit allow you to straighten out your wheel and get a lot of momentum for a bottom turn. Always is going to be at the top, in my opinion. And a very consistent lap times too. I believe I tried the top right here. No, I didn't. So one more to the bottom. So you see I'm using the brake to steady my car on the white line. Then once I'm on the white line, I get pretty hard back into the gas. Like 70% immediately at least. You can probably go 100% sometimes, but if you're starting to get loose under it, you don't want to slide your tires because that'll add tire heat. That's just not very helpful. And 3 and 4 again. Try to late apex throttle through the corner. Full throttle up the track. Just let the car take you to the wall. Use the real estate that you have. And then I believe this is right here when I tried the top of 1 and 2. And I will say, like, the relative had me at plus 0.06 at like the best part of the corner. This was a pretty good turn. So a couple of things about running the top is that you just never want to be sliding up if you don't have to. That's how people run the top so consistently, is they just run lines where your car is just not sliding up. But because of that, it's a little more conservative. But getting back on the throttle early helps the momentum, so it balances out a bit. And then driving back up the hill like this. And that's kind of more what I tested because I just know the top of 3 and 4 isn't where it's at. And it was pretty much the same lap time. Tires were 96, mostly from running the bottom. So those are going to wear your tires evenly, which is huge in Xfinity, especially if you're not getting a ton of wear like that. And the heat is even between the front and the rear pretty much. So that's what you're going to be looking for. All right. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. I hope to see you all on the track.